Hi, everyone. Welcome to Rockin' for God with Lisa Marie Nicole. This is my monthly faith and music podcast. And starting in August, I will be doing 2 shows a month. This first Saturday and now on the third Friday of each month also, both at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will also start ending all of my shows with one of my songs at the end. So after the guest leaves, I will leave the show with one of my songs. So just please stay till the end so you can hear it, because I have a couple of new releases over the next couple of months that I will be playing. And so I just want to welcome you guys to this episode. I have a great show for you tonight. Let me just say the psalm for today is Psalm 9:2. I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. I just want to mention real quick that this is going to be broadcasted live on Blog Talk Radio also for you guys out there. And you will be able to watch the replay of this show on my YouTube channel, my Facebook music page, on Lisa Marie Nicole Music, Blog Talk Radio, all the streaming sites, and Blast FM Limited. Also, this also will be on after it airs. So let's get the show started. I have a great guest for you tonight. Her name's Miranda Raine, and I'm going to bring her on right now. Hi, Miranda. Lady
Hi.
Miranda. Hold on. So tell everyone where you were from.
I'm in Seattle. I've been here for a very, very, very long time, so I pretty much consider this being where I'm from.
A very, very, very long time. Are you from anywhere before that?
I was born in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I traveled a lot as a kid. My dad was military, so didn't really land anywhere permanently until much later. And then, I've been here in Seattle for pretty much the majority of my adult life.
Wow, it rains a lot in Seattle, don't it?
Not as much as people think. I think New York gets more rain than we do, actually.
That's funny because that's always a saying. It rain is Seattle.
Right, but people that don't live here don't realize that we don't get a lot of heavy rain. Our rain is more like sprinkling or misting, or like if you think about inches per year, New York beats us out.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't get that heavy downpour. Like our winter season is usually when it gets heavier rain, but the East Coast still gets heavier rainfall than we do.
Wow, that's real. But it's cold out there, right? Does it get really cold in the winter? No.
Yeah, like in the 30s. I mean, I don't know. Is that cold?
It depends on what 30s is.
I've been in Michigan in the winter at -13, so I will keep my 30 degrees.
30s in Florida is like beautiful to me. I think 30 degrees in Florida is beautiful. So anyway, all right. So you're a recording artist. You were with Big Records, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How'd you get signed with them? How'd you wind up going with them?
It was after the award show for ISSA last year, sometime around the end of September. Cindy Neen had messaged me, and she was with Big Records at the time, and started talking to me about it. I kind of did a lot of research because at that time I just won my award, and I was getting messaged by lots of people claiming to be promoters, and kind of go through that weeding out process of who's real and who's not, who's trying to scam me. And so I actually was very skeptical when Cindy messaged me. I'm like, who's this lady?
Yeah.
And I had to go kind of dig into it. And when I realized they were not, in fact, one of those scamming promoter folks, then I, started having more of a conversation. So that's kind of how I fell into it, I guess you could say.
Oh, so you've only been with them for a year then? I thought it was longer.
Yeah, not even quite a year yet, but yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good. So about your music, you're multi-genre, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Do you write all your own music, or do you collaborate with other people?
I do write all my own music. So on occasion, I'll do a collaboration and I will involve that person in the songwriting process. But I think even when I've done that, I have ended up doing most of the songwriting, if that makes sense.
No, I understand. Yeah.
Because they're more of a feature on my album versus like I don't know what else you would call it.
Which album?
Any of them, I don't know. I actually have someone that I'm featuring on my upcoming album who's a good friend of mine, and she's got a beautiful voice. And so I did write most of that song, but we did, talk together about through the songwriting process and kind of bounced ideas off of each other. And she came up with parts, and I kind of rearranged, some of the lines, and we kind of worked out how the flow would go. And so it actually turned out to be a really cool song. And for once, I wasn't writing about my own life, but we were writing more about hers. So that was interesting.
Well, your lyrics are really good. You write a little bit like me. I noticed that your lyrics are about life and about your living your life and what you go through in your life and everything. And how would you say your faith in God is?
Uh, that's always an interesting question because everyone's journey is different. And, I started my journey very young and became interested in the idea of learning more about God and what that meant and what that relationship should look like. And, you know, um, I've been to different churches and different, when I say different churches, I mean like different religions.
Denominations.
I've been to different. I've been to like a Baptist church and a Catholic church and a denomination, all these different places. And I think that was because I wanted to understand what the differences were and how people were teaching and what things they were saying and what kind of things they believed in and what they followed. And I think that's really what helped me kind of mold my own relationship with God to be what it is, which for me it's unique compared to what I hear a lot of other people and their relationship with God is. I do know that in my family, as far as I'm aware, nobody else really does a lot of artistic things. And so I don't really know where my gift of music or even my gift of writing comes from outside of, I was born with it because he graced me with those gifts. It wasn't like, oh, well, this is something that generations in your family have been doing. It's not like that in my family. So, I do give credit to my gifts to him, and he's the reason I'm here. There's several things in my life I can't explain, and I've faced death multiple times, and I probably should have died multiple times, and I'm still here. So I can't attribute that to anything else other than my relationship with him.
Yeah, it's a blessing that you're here, that you're still here. And I understand exactly what you're saying because it's the same thing with me. Nobody in my family has any kind of talent they have other types of talent, but not with songwriting and anything like that. So I understand exactly what you're saying. But everybody's relationship with God is different. I'm Catholic, so, but I am friends and I appreciate everyone in every denomination. We all have our walk with God is different, with everybody.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
And that it's a blessing that you're blessed, everything you have in your life. And I feel the same way. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to play your song, Take Me Away. And you could talk about that. And the video for that is incredible. So I know you're nominated for that. So we'll talk about that. So this is Take Me Away by Miranda Raine.
'cause I am done. Can't escape this thing. Gotta make it through this. Take me away. Oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss you. Just take me away. Take me away. Because I miss you. Oh, I miss you. Take me away. Oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss you. Just take me away. Take me away. Because I miss you. Oh, I miss you. Every night tears stream. Can't hold them deep inside. No matter what I do, there is no place to hide. Darkness hovers over. I'm desperate for the light. I need this to be over. Can't make it through this. Take me away. Oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss you. Just take me away. Take me away. Because I miss you. Oh, I miss you. What am I supposed to do without you in my life? I cannot breathe. No, I cannot breathe. All I need is to look straight into your beautiful eyes. Maybe then I can see what this is supposed to mean. How do I go on when you were everything that gave me life? I cannot see. No, I cannot see. All I need is to hear your voice back on the line. Maybe then I can breathe. Oh, I need to breathe. Take me away. Oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss you. Just take me away. Take me away. Because I miss you. Oh, I miss you.
That's beautiful. You want to talk about this song? I know it means something to you, and your voice is incredible in it.
Thank you. This song was about loss. I think ever since, I mean, even before COVID started, but I think COVID really emphasized this. But ever since COVID started, I've just seen a lot of people lose a lot of people, whether it was relatives or friends or other people that were important to them or people they knew. And loss is something that I've dealt with my whole life, and it seems to me like the older I get, the more loss I'm seeing around me. And so it was a song I'd been thinking about for a while, and then kind of the final straw for me was when my friend lost her daughter, and I knew that this song needed to be written when that happened. And so that's it's the song could be about loss in regards to anything, whether that's loss of someone through death or loss of a relationship, loss of a pet, loss of a friend, whatever the case is. it can be a very generalized loss. If
Yeah.
you listen to the lyrics, it can be about anything.
Mhm.
And we've seen a lot of that. I've seen people constantly posting about their hardships and family in the hospital and having their own health issues and pets, passing away or whatnot. And the timing was just right. I wrote this song last year. I wrote it last year in August, released it in February. I had to think about that. I'm like, when did I release this song?
Well, you released the
It
video.
was March. I don't know. I released it sometime. It might have been March. Yeah, I
And the
released
video,
the
yeah.
music video. And the Sixth Productions did a wonderful job. It's a husband and wife team. Their names are Josh and Aurora, and they were amazing. They
Yeah,
came
they
over,
did. They did a good job
had
with
all
them.
these ideas and all this equipment, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm new to this. Is not my area of expertise. I write songs and I sing, so you're going to tell me like. But I had a good concept for what I was looking to do, and they brought it to life. And they've done some photos for me, which I actually chose one of Aurora's photos for my next album cover. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, they're really nice people, very genuine. They are fun to work with, and
Where are they based out of?
Tacoma.
Oh,
Washington.
really?
Yeah. And they were gracious enough to come and do my music video, either before or after church. I don't know. They somewhere in between their church time, they came and filmed my music video.
Wow, that's great. And that's great. They did a great job with that.
Yeah, they did. They did a really nice job. And I've been searching for a videographer for a while, and I forget how I came across his profile, but us independent artists don't make money doing this. And so, I needed something I could afford, and they were affordable, but he also has experience doing other videos. And so he had said, here's all my YouTube links. And, I've worked with other musicians, and yeah, they were great. So
That's great.
I was really happy with how it turned out, and I'm glad that it got some nominations for some awards. I'm excited to find out how that works out.
Yeah, me too. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
It was great. And I know that you're autistic, right?
I am.
Yeah. And how hard is it to live with autism in this world today? Is that a stupid question?
That's a complicated question.
But you're also an autism advocate, right? I mean, you
Yeah, because I feel like being autistic, everybody has their idea of what that should look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that is attributed to what we've seen on movies and TV.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's a terrible, terrible portrayal of what it is like to be autistic. Because being autistic doesn't mean that it's a disease. It doesn't mean there's something to cure. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It just means my brain has a different set of wires. And so I look and see things differently. My perspective is different. My thought process is different. How I interpret things is different. But there's not a way to change that. You'd have to literally go and give me a new brain to make that happen. So there, people don't realize that it's not something that you can grow out of. It's not something you can medicate to make you better. It's not, I'm built this way because this is how I'm meant to be designed. And so, but I think the hard part, and this is the one question nobody ever asks me in an interview, so I'm just going to answer it anyway. The hard part is everybody asks me oh, you're autistic and you're still making music, and that's great. So that makes you a great role model, and it can still be done. Yes, it can. But nobody ever asks me the challenges about being an autistic musician. And I think that's wherein lies a lot of the problems that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Because with promoting and working with promoters and working with labels and working with people that help me learn how to do social media or whatnot, it's different for me. I don't do well in the whole we have these group of people and we're going to give you all this one opportunity, and if you want it, you just have to ask for it and then do all the follow-up. I can't work that way.
Yeah.
I'm more of a personalized one-on-one. I get overwhelmed when there's too much for me to navigate. So
I understand.
yeah, it's a challenge, and I need more of that someone getting to know what drives me and getting to know me in that way that they understand where my needs lie as far as promotion and social media. And because I'll tell you what, this is the most I've ever been on social media in my life.
Well, being independent artists, we have to be
at it. I'm still not good at it. I am better at it, but I have to remind myself because I'm autistic. Socializing is not on the top of my mind.
I think you're doing really good right now. You're doing great.
I've had a lot of practice before this moment.
I know you've done a lot of interviews. I've seen you've done a lot of and you've done good. Everybody said you've done
better
good.
at it.
And it gets easier as you keep doing them. It just gets easier over time.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it. But to answer your first question, it's a challenge. I don't pretend to understand other people. I've taken a lot of psychology classes in college because I think that psychology is fascinating. And the one class that I did not enjoy was social psychology. I hated that class. I loved all the other psychology classes, but I hated social psychology because it attempted to explain why people behave the way they behave. And I get that there's some kind of brain process to it, but it still made no sense to me. Just like, that still doesn't explain to me why someone chooses to be a certain way, because we know that people can grow. We know that people can change. We know that people can learn new habits and break old ones. And I think it just boils down to a choice. And so being autistic, it gets complicated because I'm not good at lying, so I don't do it. I'm very honest, and sometimes for people that's difficult because not everybody likes my level of honesty. The truth hurts. I guess that actually is true. I don't know.
Well, that's good though. I would rather you be honest than people lying to your face. I mean,
I would too, but some people are really sensitive.
Yeah.
And I always find that funny because I'm a female and everybody's like, oh, women are sensitive. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I know a lot of guys are also really sensitive. And I joke about it. People always tell me, oh, I'm such a great communicator. And my joke is always, if you think you're a great communicator, talk to an autistic person. That will tell you whether or not you are a great communicator.
Yeah. And you have your, I met your beautiful dog, Elsie, and is she a service dog? She's your service dog, right?
She is a service dog. Yeah.
And how has she changed your life? I know how much you love her.
I don't even remember what life was like before I had her. I think that's how much of an impact she's had in my life. I didn't pick her. She was chosen for me. And it was interesting because I found this pet rescue that sends some of their dogs through this special training program while they're at the pet rescue. And so they learn their basic skills while they're there. Mm-hmm. And when I found that out, I contacted them and I said, hey, I want one of your Ridge dogs. They go through a program called Ridge. I want one of your Ridge dogs. This is why. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I need. And they chose her for me. They said, we think she'd be great at service dog training. She's our star pupil. She teaches the other dogs how to do commands and all this great stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And they sent me a photo of her, and the photo did not do her justice at all. When I saw her photo, I was like, I guess she's cute. Did not do her justice. You've seen her. She's adorable.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
And so, but I was really glad because they did a wonderful job in pairing me with her. I think they were spot on, and, it turned out to be the perfect fit for me. And she knows when I'm not doing well, whether it's physically or emotionally. She knows when I'm, low energy. She knows when I'm not functioning at my best. Mm-hmm. As you know, I have multiple chronic conditions, and so that makes life difficult. And then being autistic, sometimes I get overwhelmed and I get anxiety, and She's trained to get me out of places quickly if I need it. And, she knows when I'm getting high anxiety. She's trained to sense that, and she's trained to help focus my attention to her so that I can stop focusing on whatever's giving me anxiety. So she has seen me through a lot of really difficult things. And I always say that she has saved me, not the other way around.
That's great. Well, you know that I suffer from chronic pain also, so I understand you 100%, believe me. And dogs are a blessing. I mean, they're just great when we suffer from things. They know when they could tell you, they could sense it. And that's what's great about them.
Yeah. And she ironically has, my baby brother passed away when he was 4 months, and she shares his birthday, and I don't think that's a coincidence.
No, maybe not. You also are a lover of owls, and so am I. And why is the owl your favorite animal?
Oh, every autistic person has a special interest, and owls just so happen to be mine. I think they're fascinating. They're very smart, and they're wise. They're beautiful, and they're unique, and they're different in the way that they do things and the way that they function in the world. And, people will always tell me, they're birds of prey, right? They can be very vicious. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but so can people.
That's true.
So, but the difference is that they do it out of the need to survive and nothing more, and they're just fascinating creatures. There's so many different kinds. Yeah, and they're just I don't know, well, they're just they've always been fascinating to me. I took to them, and it was just kind of like I had this spiritual kinship with them, and I have been loving owls ever since. I have lots of owl things, and I will probably obtain more.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. And I want to see one day when you get a real one.
I would love that, but that's illegal here in the U.S. Although I did find out you can adopt an owl at one of those owl sanctuary places.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I'm half tempted to do that one day if I don't ever get one.
You should, because then you'll have your own owl for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You get an owl, and you help support the owl, and they send you photos, and
That's great. I'm going to play your other song, Fly, right now. Is this song is just called Fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to play this one, and then you could talk about it. This is Fly by Miranda Raine.
When I wake up in the morning, I want
That's a great song.
Thank you.
That's a great song. And I noticed you mentioned God in there.
I do. Yeah. I wrote that song on I was driving back from Vegas to Seattle when I wrote that. I
Wow,
write a lot of songs in the car.
I understand. I do that all the time.
Yeah, it annoys one of my friends because they're like, "How do you do that all the time? You can write a song like between one town and the next." And I'm like, "Oh,
People don't understand unless you're a songwriter. You don't
songs write
understand.
themselves. I could be listening.
That's
I'll
true.
listen to instrumental beats, and words will start forming. It has very little to do with me trying to do it on
Yeah,
purpose.
it's true. That's a blessing too.
Yeah,
It's big time. You also had a book published?
I did. Yeah, that was last year. It's published on Amazon. I'm actually working on my second book, and
What's it about?
my second book.
Yeah. No, what's the first one about?
Um,
Well,
they're,
tell
they're
everybody what's
both they are both memoirs,
okay.
but they're epistolary memoirs, and so that essentially means that they're a collection of letters. My first book was letters to people involved in my trauma from my past.
Mm-hmm.
My second book are all going to be letters to myself from various ages. And so the second book's actually much harder to write. I think it's much harder to write to yourself and be honest with yourself than with other people. So it's taking me longer. But, it was one of the ways that I was able to heal from my own trauma. Writing is something I've been doing since I was a kid. And when I was in college, I took a lot of writing classes, and one of them was on how to use writing as a way to heal. And when I did my senior project, I discovered the epistolary memoir because I'd always wanted to write my story. But a lot of trauma survivors, their memories are not chronological. They're often like scattered memories. You don't remember things in order. Sometimes you remember them in bits and pieces. And so it's hard to make a book flow when you don't remember how things happened in order.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the epistolary, when I discovered that there was a different way to do it, that really resonated with me because it allowed me to tell my story that I have been feeling like I needed to tell for years, but in a way where I didn't have to specifically remember events in any given order. It allowed me to start somewhere and then kind of rearrange it later, and really just be able to say what I needed to say without worrying too much about story flow. And so I was finally able to write the book that I've been needing to write for a long time. And after that, it allowed me to put a lot of things to bed and not feel like they were impacting me anymore.
That's great. You and I have a lot in common because I've been writing since I was a child too, and I actually am going to have my first book published this year.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, I'm really happy about that. But it seems like everybody's writing books lately. I don't know, everybody I know.
Writing books can be hard though, depending on what kind of writing, and everybody has to find kind of their place on how to do it. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. Same with songwriting. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. Especially being autistic, I know that my songs are all written in a very interesting way, and even my producer knows already to expect anything from me because I'll come in there and he'll be like, only you would write a song in this format.
Well, it's a good thing though. I mean, you don't know how many people you're reaching.
I told him not to tell me the rules because then I didn't have to follow them. So
that's good. You need to find somebody that doesn't
follow
rules.
I just make up my own as I go along, So many people have tried to tell me, oh, you should do one genre, you need to pick something, you need it, and I can't bring myself to do it. I've kind of forged my own road, and I can't. My brain doesn't let me do things the way everyone else does, and so I had to stop listening to everyone else and just be like, I need to do this how I can manage to do this.
That's right.
And that looks very different than what everybody else does, and that's
Yeah,
why I
it's
push
true.
to advocate for it. We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. You're right. You should. And it's such a good thing that you're doing. And to find somebody to work with that works with you on, the way you do things and the way when you can. That's very hard. I mean, any of us that do this for a career and have any kind of issues like chronic pain or anything, autism or anything you have that you live with, it's really hard at times to do this, to be an
Mhm.
artist, to write, to perform. I mean, people don't understand that, and I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. So I don't have autism, but on the other aspect of that, I understand.
Yeah.
So, and it's great that you're doing that. I think it's really good because you could be encouraging other people that are like you that don't want to do anything and are afraid to do anything. If they look at you and see what you've done with your life, people, maybe somebody out there that's watching this could say, hey, maybe I could do that too.
Yeah,
So,
I've actually had a lot of people message me that, because I try to keep my music page, and my personal page on social media.
yeah.
I do talk a lot more about being autistic on there and whatnot, but I've had people message me and say, hey, I'm always learning something from you about being autistic, or, I'm autistic and I never really talk about it. And all these things that you said made sense. Or, I've had so many different messages, which is why I keep doing it. It's why I'm open about it. It's why I keep talking about it, because it was difficult at first. You don't know how people are going to react to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the more positive messages I got from other people saying how much they appreciate me talking about it, or appreciate me teaching them something, or appreciate that, they feel more comfortable talking about it themselves because now they see that someone else is doing it. It is why I keep doing it.
Yeah.
And, I think it just lets me be more comfortable with who I am and accepting of who I am. And, there's a lot of boundaries I've created for myself. Like, I don't ask anybody what they think about my music, is one of them. I purposely don't. I don't want to know. If people tell me they love it and it's great, then that's fantastic. But I won't go and purposely ask.
Yeah.
It's subjective. Everybody has an opinion. Some people will love it, some people will hate it. And it's already difficult as a person, as a musician, to not get down about things like that. And when you're someone who already gets overwhelmed by just being in a world that wasn't designed for you, I don't want to add to that.
I understand. Believe me.
So I'm just like, and I do have people in my life that will just straight up be like, this is what, you should have done this, or you should have done that. And I'll be like, hold on. I didn't ask. I don't want to know what you would have done.
You got to be straightforward, people. I don't care.
I am. I'm direct, and people that know me know that. And
Are you sure you're not from Jersey?
It's really funny. I get a lot of people that, I'm from New York, or I'm from here. I can handle direct. And I'm like, okay, because over here, sometimes on the West Coast, I got to be a little careful.
Yeah, I understand about that.
And it's not that I'm trying to be harsh or anything. It's just that I don't know I don't have that skill set of beating around the bush or sugarcoating. My brain doesn't work that way. That's too many factors to try to figure out. I don't take hints very well. I can't read between the lines. I don't even know when people are flirting with me unless it's extremely obvious. That whole societal cues or whatnot, I don't know. That's why I say, if you want me to know something, just tell me, because I'm gonna be like, what are you talking about? I don't know.
So you want a guy to just come up to you and say, hey, you're beautiful.
Yes.
Instead of hitting around.
That would make my life so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
I'm nice to everybody unless you're mean to me. And so, people will be like, oh, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm great. How are you? And then it's like, okay, well, I have nothing left to add to this conversation. See you later.
That's funny.
Terrible at small talk. So
what are your plans for the rest of the year?
We are working on another album. I have been tinkering with that idea of another music video, but the one that keeps popping into my brain requires a lot of work. And so I haven't decided yet if I want to put in that much effort and work, because it would also require other people and dance moves. And anyway, but yes, we are working on another album. So
Great.
that's in the works. We're a couple songs already. I have all the songs written, but we're in the process of, producing them and whatnot. I already have my album cover figured out, so that's fun.
That's
and then,
cool.
of course, I'll be in Atlanta
Yeah. I'll
for
see
the
you there.
ISSA Awards show. I'll be performing at the after party this year, so that's fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And then we'll see what happens. I don't know. I kind of take it one album at a time, even though I have enough songs written for probably 2 or 3 albums already.
That's great. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And let me know when it comes out. You said you're writing another book you were talking about, right?
Yeah, I've been working on that pretty steadily. I don't know when it will be done. It's always hard to say when you're writing a book. I almost find that I'm more critical of that than I am of writing songs. But I used to edit, I used to book design, and so
oh, that's great.
All about bookmaking process, and I think I'm a little more particular when I'm writing books. But like I said, this one is a bit more challenging since it's all letters to myself, and I just want to make sure I'm not being overly repetitive, but still saying something to myself at each interval of life that I think is important.
I think that's great. Make sure you post that so people can see. I got a couple people asking where they can find your music.
Oh, goodness. So many places. So I have a website. It's theonlyladymiranda.com. And if you click on the music tab, all the links to everywhere you can find my music is there. So Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, Apple Music, iTunes,
all the streaming sites.
Tidal. Yeah. There's so many. I don't even know the names of them all.
Yeah.
But they're all under Lady Miranda. So you can totally find me on there. And then, of course, I have all my social media stuff, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, which I have to keep reminding myself to get on.
I got off of that a while ago.
Instagram allows me to post and it goes straight to my music page on Facebook, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I wish it would connect to TikTok and Threads and all the other ones, because that would make my life easier.
Well, since Facebook owns almost everything, it will be easier to just do that, right?
I really wish that someone would figure out how to make them all just connect. I post one time and it goes to all of them.
They will eventually.
Well, they need to hurry it up.
Are there any, I wanted to ask you before, I forgot to ask you this. Are there any songs that you wrote for someone special in your life?
Yeah. I've got one on this upcoming album that I did write that was inspired by somebody. And then, of course, I have another song that I wrote that was inspired by somebody, but that's more of a depressing, sad song than a lovey-dovey song. But I have actually a few songs that have been inspired by people. I don't like to usually say, oh, this song is about this before I release it, because I like to let people kind of make their own interpretations of my music. But everything I write is usually inspired by an experience or a person. Like Broken Man on my last album, somebody thought that was written from somebody that I dated, and it's actually not. So it was inspired by somebody, but not. Same thing with Puppet Master. That was inspired by somebody. It's never who people think it is, but I let people, kind of decipher what they get out of it for themselves.
Have you ever wrote any Christian songs?
Yeah, actually I have. So I started when I first started songwriting back in like 2012. The first few songs I wrote were actually Christian songs. As far as songwriting goes, I think I would have to rewrite them before producing them, because I was new at it. I was a lot younger. They were not polished.
I understand. I know.
It's kind of like, I'll look at some of my poetry from when I was a lot younger, and I'm like, Wow, this is terrible.
I know, isn't that great when you perfect songwriting and then you go back and look at your stuff years ago and go, man, I got a lot better.
Oh yeah,
It
well
was
yeah,
happening
yeah,
before I
yeah.
knew what I was doing, It's like
And I'm half tempted to go back and rewrite a lot of stuff that I did back then, but then I'm like, nope, 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 because this shows my growth, and I don't want to
yeah,
touch what I did back
that's
then.
right.
But yeah, I'll look at it and be like, what was I thinking?
That's funny.
So yeah, it's comical, but
So
I
you
keep it all.
Yeah, you should. I mean, that like you said, it shows your growth. And there might be some things there you wrote that when you're going through a hard time in your life or something, some things that you wrote and you could look and remember. Sometimes you don't want to remember either, though. There's some
Yeah,
things.
yeah, I think that's the story of my life. Is most of the things that I've written have been because of things like that, and yeah, you're right. I haven't looked at some of that in a really long time, and I don't feel the need to so much.
Well, you're moving forward. You're writing a lot of stuff now, and like you said, you have stuff you already wrote. So, and I know, like me, I know a lot of songwriters. You'll write like a couple songs and say, I want to record these. And then you keep writing other stuff and other stuff and other stuff. And then you got a whole book of stuff you already wrote. And you're like, I don't know which one I want to record first.
My producer laughs because I'll be like, I wrote a song on accident. I want to add it onto this album. And he'll be like, what do you mean you wrote a song on accident? I'll be like, I wasn't planning to put another song on this album. It just happened.
That's funny. How many songs you're gonna have on the one you're coming out with now?
6. I think what I've decided is to do 2 EPs a year rather than full albums.
That's great.
I did a full album last year and it was great, but I feel like doing 2 EPs is a little easier to do in those 2 parts, but also keeps me coming out with new music, keeps me, a little more relevant as time passes, and I can do it in bits and pieces that are more manageable, and then I'll always have one ready for upcoming award nominations, no matter what time of year it is, because they've all been done, within a certain time frame, and so that way I can stay ahead of the curve instead of stressing out for deadlines.
I understand. I mean, I feel the same way you do. I think EPs are the way to go today. A lot of people don't do them anymore, and a lot of people don't believe in them. People, what's an EP? People ask me, what's an EP? And I just put the one out with 4 songs on it, and that one just won an award. So it's sometimes I think you're better off doing that now in today's world.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated. A lot of people will release a single here and a single there and a single here and a single there, and and there's a lot of people that do that, and that's great. It works for them. I think, me personally, that would stress me out. So I gotta tend not to do that. I find it easier for me to focus on one project rather than multiple little projects, and me trying to release a song here and then another song and then another song.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, it would way overwhelm me.
It's a lot of work.
Promotion on its own,
yep,
overwhelms me. I'd rather promote one EP, consistently every so often, and then be like, okay, well, that one's over. Let's do the next thing.
Work on the next one.
I can't keep up with it that way. Kudos to anybody who can, because I can't.
What is your website again? Somebody's asking.
TheOnlyLadyMiranda.com.
Oh, it's TheOnlyLadyMiranda.com, John. I'm gonna write that down. The only Lady Miranda. All right. Is it not in caps or is it in small letters?
It's all small letters, all together, one word, or one. You know what I mean.
That's a good name you got. I like that. It's different.
I think we've established that's my MO. Different.
Lady Miranda, yeah, I love it. And we were talking before the show about Elsie, that you got a really good costume, of a real outfit for her to wear at the awards this year.
Yep, she wore one last year too, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, look at the dog in the dress!" And so
Yeah, she
we're
was.
outdoing last year's dress this year, so be ready. Her outfit has bling and everything. So
I can't wait to see that.
so
Just so everybody knows, I'm gonna be at the ISSA, and I'm gonna be broadcasting from there with the Rockin' for God special. So you might see Miranda there on camera, and I'm gonna probably get her Elsie in there too. Even though she doesn't like the camera, I'm gonna follow her
Rosie hates
anyway.
the camera so
But
much.
she likes me. All dogs like me, so that's all right.
She loves me too, but when I pull my camera out, she knows, and she's like, "I don't think so, Mom," and she will not look at me.
Aw, yeah, she's a good girl.
Yeah, she's
Uh,
very good.
Is there is there is there anything else you want to say? Do you want to mention anything or say anything else?
I would say just follow me on my socials, because even though I don't talk, so when I'm most quiet on my social media is when that means I'm planning something big. So I never tell anybody my next move. So
Uh-huh.
you just got to keep an eye out.
I noticed that.
Yeah, everybody's chatterbox is on there, and I'm usually the quiet one. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing that. And nobody knows until it's out there and it's happening. And then everybody's like, what?
Sometimes that's good to be like that, because a lot of people tell too much out there.
It works
And
for me, I find. Yeah.
I think it's good because it's like a surprise, instead of telling
Exactly.
people. Yeah.
You're right. And a lot of people sometimes they do tell a little too much. And the next thing you know, somebody else is doing it too.
Yeah, and you in this industry, you got to watch, so you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
it was real. I had a great time. Thank you so much for coming on. I
thank you for
mean,
having me.
I wish, well, I wanted to. I mean, I know I met you in person and we talk once in a while online, but I
Mhm.
really got to know a lot more about you, and I'm glad that I had you on, because and everybody was asking about you too. So I'm sure you're going to get people going on your website and everything. So I'm just really happy you came on, and I can't wait to see you in Atlanta.
I know that's already next month. Can you believe it?
I know it's going to be here quick.
It so is.
I know, and you're nominated for Josie too, right?
Yeah.
And the red carpet. Did you get red carpet
Carpet.
awards?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I think I have like 6 nominations through the red carpet and 4 through Josie and then 4 through ISSA. So
Well,
I'll be
good luck with Josie too, because
yeah, you too. Yeah, well, the next few months are going to be interesting.
well, this show got nominated for a Josie Award, so
I saw that. That's
I'm
great.
really proud of that. And red carpet, we'll find out in September, he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
everything's
that's what
one
he
right
said.
after another. Cause
Yeah, it's
stand
bang
up
bang bang. So we'll find out. We'll find out. But you know what? Even to be nominated is just a blessing.
it is.
I mean, yeah, it's great to win, but even a nomination is just good, because there's so many thousands of people that put in for this stuff.
Very true. Very true.
But I want to just thank you again for coming on, and you gave everybody your information and your website and everything. So I just hope you have a great night, a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon online. And thank you so much again. I appreciate it, Miranda.
Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta.
Everybody, check out Miranda, please, on her website. What was it again?
TheOnlyLadyMiranda.com.
TheOnlyLadyMiranda.com. Go check out her music, and her book is on Amazon, right?
Yep.
And what's the name of the book?
Calling Them by Name.
Calling Them by Name is her book. Somebody asked that. So check out her book on Amazon and go to her website and download her music. She's a great artist, great person, and I'm so glad you were on. So have a good night. God bless you.
You. You as well, Lisa. God bless.
Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay, guys. I just want to thank you guys for joining me. I just want to say real quick that my next show is going to be in August. I'm going to have 2 people on in August. I have August 3rd, Jennifer Alvarado, And I have August 16, Howard Grip. He's a Christian recording artist, very good. And Jennifer Alvarado's another one. She's another great, she does Christian country and she does a bunch of different things. But I have 2 shows, don't forget, in August. So they're going to be 2 great shows back to back. I'm going to try to advertise as much as I can this month for the first one and then in between. So I really hope you guys could join me again August 3rd, 7 p.m. right here. And I will let you guys know if I won any of the awards for this show, which I'm so blessed to be nominated for. So I'm going to start, as of today, I'm going to start ending this show with one of my songs at the end. So this song that I'm going to play right now is my new single. It's called Life's a Song of Faith and Glory. And I thank Bo Horst for this, for the production of this, and for collaborating with them on this song. So everyone, have a blessed night. God bless you. I'll see you in August. And this is my song.
Darkest nights of sorrow, in the brightest days of joy, there's a guiding hand that leads us with grace that can destroy. Life's a song of faith and glory, a melody of love divine. Through every page of our story, in the Lord's light we shine. Though storms may rage around us and doubts may cloud our sight, in the shelter of His presence we find our strength to fight. Life's a song of faith and glory, a melody of love divine. Through every page of our story, in the Lord's light we shine. In the quiet moments of reflection, in the chaos of the day, we find the grace of resurrection. In His love we find our way.
The trials we face in this life are not meant to destroy us, but to refine our faith and produce a greater glory and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed.
With every step we're taking in the path that's set before, we're filled with boundless blessings and His mercy evermore. Life's a song